We got a new feud, some new beef. Where's the beef? It's happening between Summer House's Kyle Cooke and Southern Charm's Craig Conover over this Loverboy Spritz shenanigans. I don't even know, but we're gonna get into it, and I'm gonna break it all down for you because we love a good feud, right? Let's get it. You're listening to No Filter with Zach Peter, your go-to source for all the latest pop culture and reality TV tea, served fresh all week long. Now, let's dive in. What up, everybody? Welcome on in. Welcome on in. Welcome on in. Let's get it, girl. Get it, girl. To the front, to the right, to the back, girl. It's your night. What's going on, guys? I hope you're having a lovely Tuesday morning. Great start to your week. New month, new energy. We're steamrolling into summer, going strong. I feel like our Bravo content though is going to be getting a little mid, a little lackluster. People seem to be liking Dubai from the premiere, so I don't know. I didn't watch last season of Dubai. I don't know if I'm going to watch the new season. I just don't really have interest. But I'm glad that we get like a little break. I'm glad that we're getting like a Vanderpump break and we have a little bit of a moment to breathe, right? Very quickly, I just want to give a couple of shout outs. Thank you guys for leaving nice Apple Podcast reviews. The shout out goes to Coconut47 says, thank you for a great podcast. I love this podcast and listen to every episode. Zach is so thoughtful in his analysis of Bravo shows and pop culture. He doesn't always have the popular take, regardless of whether I agree with him or not. I can appreciate his perspective and will continue to listen. Thanks again for sharing your time and feisty personality with us. That I do have. Teresa F84 says, keeps it real. I love this podcast. Zach keeps it real. He says his truth and isn't afraid of being his true self. I know that's right. Listen, one thing about me is I'm going to mention it all. I'm going to say it with my whole chest. I'm going to open my mouth and I'm just going to say it. Good, bad, ugly. It is what it is, you know? Yesterday, I kind of went into a bit of a rant, I guess is what you could call it. Went into a bit of a rant about just like some of the overreactions that I see. I heard Lala Kent went on her podcast and she was like getting a bit emotional and was just like fan reaction is the craziest it's ever been. And Joe, I did get your cameo. I haven't opened it yet. I completely forgot. But I've been getting the notification saying you got cameos to do. You got cameos to do. So I will check your should I just read what Joe wants me to do on Cameo right now? I will in a sec. But because I already know it's going to be feisty, Joe. But I like made a video on Instagram, on TikTok, and I was just like, yo, like, why are we like Lala's literally getting emotional? And I'm like, can we like remember that like this is a pregnant woman? And then a lot of people were like, so being pregnant doesn't exonerate you of, being held for your consequences, held to your actions. And I was like, what are we even like? First of all, because like I saw that people were making like compilation videos where they're going through all the old seasons of things that Lala Kent has said in the past and they're comparing it to now. And I'm just like, I mean, yeah, I'm sure if there's footage of all of us for the past, 8 years, you're going to be able to pull apart different clips and compare them and try to find things that are hypocritical. We've all been hypocrites. We've all said things that have contradicted our past self. Whatever. My point was being that like it's kind of crazy. Like can we just chill? Like Vanderpump is over. I get it if you like Ariana. Like you're allowed to be team Ariana or team Lala or team both or team nothing. Like all of those things are true. It's not that serious. It's not that deep. It's a reality show. Let's just have fun and enjoy these things. And like give Lala, like I get it. You don't like Lala. And maybe you think she's a hypocrite or whatever. You can think she's every name in the book. But let's also factor in that she's pregnant. And people are like, well, just because she's pregnant doesn't give her a pass. I'm like, no, it doesn't give her a pass. But you also just have to be mindful that she's carrying a child. She's emotional, she's hormonal, she's allowed to have all of those feelings and emotions. And when people like, send this mob after her and people like, we're just calling her out, we're just holding her accountable. It's like, first of all, that's a lot of time that you got on your hands, number one. And number two, like she's carrying a child. So if you're going to elevate her stress levels, like just be mindful that she's literally developing a baby inside of her. that like I just don't understand how we suddenly have lost grace for a pregnant woman. And people are like, it's not about her being pregnant. It's not about her being a mother. We don't care about that. We care about her lies. She's a liar. And I'm like, yo, tone it down. It ain't that deep, yo. It ain't that deep. I know there was like one one content creator in particular who I didn't mean to call her out, but I saw that she was like making like video after video after video about Lala Kent and like poking at all of her, hypocrisy. Again, the first person that has never contradicted themselves, please throw the first stone, right? Everybody sit down and shut the fuck up. So she's making these compilation videos. And listen, I'll be honest, it wasn't personal against this person in particular. It wasn't meant to be. It was just somebody sent it to me. And you know what? On a Monday afternoon, that was the straw that broke the camel toe's back. It just was the moment I was like, yo, I am sick of seeing all of these posts about people just like relentlessly going in on Lala. Let's all give Janet from the Valley some grace. Yes, it's funny because my friend Jacques brought that up because he's like, I'm defending Janet, blah, blah, blah. I get that. I would say the only difference between Lala and Janet is Lala is currently pregnant and the exposure on Vanderpump Rules is much greater than the exposure on The Valley. And Janet is no longer pregnant. She is still a new mother. And listen, there is a period of grace that I think new mothers deserve as well. And it wasn't until I actually started to reflect on this. And listen, this is where I think it's helpful that I have friends that are willing to show me these comparisons so I can actually, be more mindful. I'm not perfect. Are you kidding me? I can very easily, I'm impulsive and I can very easily go in on someone hard. And then I just kind of stopped myself and I was like, listen, that's right. And I think as content creators, we have a privilege of being able to turn a passion into a paycheck. And I think with that also comes a bit of a responsibility. And we have to know that when we get our audience fired up about something or fired up about someone, that can also drive a lot of hate in that direction. And listen, I know I've done it with like Rachel Leviss, and I have to take accountability for that. I know I've gone in hard on her. The hard part in my argument to that is Rachel keeps inserting herself into this world that she says is too much for her. And it's just, and she keeps making these choices that I keep questioning because I'm just like, I mean, when you see someone like Lala who makes a couple of comments in a confessional or whatever, or gets frustrated with somebody's story arc on a reality show, I think that's a little different than like suing the woman that were hooking up with her boyfriend with and, filing a restraining order against one of your good friends and screwing your best friend's man for 7 months. Like, I think a little bit of a difference there. But listen, like I said, there have been moments where I've given Rachel grace. I have invited her to come on this podcast. I've had correspondence with her publicist. I even gave the girl props for having a sense of humor when she was, in on the joke about the nickname Rocky Rocky Bang Bang that I gave her. So, listen, we can all be better. And I'm just saying, with Vanderpump, I think we've seen it happen with Jersey, with like this team Teresa, team Margaret or whatever. Like it's so intense. And it's like, blah, 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 blah. Let's just take a step back, take a breath and like chill and just like, it ain't that deep. But yeah, I called out that Kaka Maraca chick and sorry. I'm actually not sorry. I threw a little engagement her way. Um, anyway, that said, I think we can all give these people a little grace. Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. Or listen, if you don't like them, then you don't need to go on these like relentless like attacks on them, right? You don't need to constantly, especially when you see a pregnant woman going on her podcast and crying. Like, when does that then be like? And the caption, I think that this Kaka Maraca chick put on her video was, "Oh boy, you've got another thing coming, Miss Birmingham." Like, that sounds like kind of threatening to send to a pregnant woman. And she's like, I'm not bullying. I'm just being honest. I'm just holding her accountable. I'm like, nah, bitch, you're being a little crazy. Like, that's a little unhinged. Okay. I've never been like, Rachel, you got another thing coming for you. Like, I've never been, fake gangster on Instagram against, somebody I don't know personally, like an Instagram reality star, whatever. I was just like, listen, we can just tone it down, It ain't all that. Do we know Lala's baby's name yet? No, but my mom did have a good theory. Again, this is all speculation. I don't know what Lala's baby's name is, and I know Sheena was very sensitive when Ryan Bailey outed Summer Moon's name, and he, put that out on the internet. I don't know this for a fact. I'm just saying this was my own mother's speculation, and her speculation is that maybe Lala is going to name her baby Sky, which I think would be interesting because I have a little sky in my life. But wouldn't that, because we would have like ocean and sky? I think that would be a cute name for the baby. Again, I have no inside intel. I have not seen anything, but my mom's like, I think she's going to name the baby Sky. And I was like, that would be a really cute name. I'm hoping I'm not outing the name, but yeah. People are using accountability police as a cover for bullying. I agree, Laura. I agree. Christopher says, I don't really care about the baby. That's not very nice. I think baby name will be Sunshine. Oh, Sunshine and Ocean. That's a good name as well. Oh, Sea, like the ocean and the sea. That's kind of cute too, because she calls it baby S, right? She calls the baby. I don't want to call the baby an it, but she calls the baby S, from what my mother has told me. So my mom is giving me her theory about like why she thinks the baby's name might be Sky. Sky, Sea, not Sandy, Pamela. Could you imagine if she names the baby Sandy? The internet would get their coochies up in flames like they had gonorrhea. They would be so like, she named the baby Sandy. And I'd be like, yo, they would be so angry. So angry. But yeah. But Sage, no, I don't think she's gonna name the baby Sage. I don't like that. I don't like the name Sage for a baby. Oh, here's little baby Sage. We're gonna sage the house with this one. Sea and ocean would be cute. Also, sky would be cute. Yeah, I like sea and ocean, sky and ocean. I may be a little biased, but I like the name Sky. Sky and ocean, I think would be really cute. All right. Do we want to let's talk about this Kyle versus Craig Conover stuff because Skylar would be a good one. But the Craig versus Kyle stuff has gotten a bit wild. Serenity. Oh, Skylar. Oh, interesting. These are some pretty good names. I ain't mad at them. I'm kind of here for it. But yeah. I just think give a pregnant lady a little bit of grace since everyone's like, go women and, team Ariana. We, don't trash a woman-owned business because we love Ariana. I'm like, okay, well, let's not trash other women, We support women. We love women, right? So yeah. But speaking of Sky, I do love my Sky, and I love my Sully, my babies, even though they drive me crazy, every day because they're still puppies. They're just over a year old. So, and people tell me like things don't start settling down until like year 2. And some people were even saying, nah, it's more like year 3. And I'm like, great, still got a lot. Well, actually, they're now approaching, now that we're in June, they're almost a year and a half. Oh, they'll be a year and a half in July, August. We're getting there little by little. We're getting there. Hopefully soon I can buy a new couch so they can stop chewing up the one I have now. But anyway, today's episode is sponsored by the ASPCA Pet Health Insurance Program. Your pet is part of your family and you want the best for them no matter what, right? But vet bills can really add up, and that's why you should check out pet insurance. And with ASPCA Pet Health Insurance, you can focus on the care that your pet deserves and cover what matters most. In today's world, we insure a lot, right? From cars to homes to cell phones, even travel plans. But what about insurance for your cat or dog? With ASPCA Pet Insurance, you can focus on the care your pet deserves and cover what matters most, which is what we want, right? We want to keep our pets healthy. The ASPCA Pet Health Insurance Program offers customizable accident and illness plans, making it easier for pet parents like you and me to help your pet get the care they may need. The ASPCA pet insurance program has been around for over 18 years, and they've helped more than 600,000 pets during this time. They allow you to customize your plan, helping to ensure that your pet's plan is as unique as they are, because vet bills can really add up, especially when you're least expecting it. It's simple. Use their app to submit a claim and you'll receive reimbursement for eligible vet bills directly into your bank account. To explore coverage, visit aspcapetinsurance.com/no filter. That's aspcapetinsurance.com/no filter. Again, that's aspcapetinsurance.com/no filter. This is a paid advertisement. Insurance is underwritten by either Independence American Insurance Company or United States Fire Insurance Company and produced by PTZ Insurance Agency Limited. The ASPCA is not an insurer and is not engaged in the business of insurance. Also, while I'm telling you about all the things that I love, I have to tell you about Dry Farm Wines. You know, I love me some Dry Farm Wines. Sugar free, low carb, keto, and paleo friendly. It's a wine curated per your preferences that is sent directly to your door. It's a wine subscription, and their wines are free of toxic additives, third party tested for purity, lower in sulfites, farmed organically, and vegan. And better yet, you can get your first bottle for just a penny. Go to dryfarmwines.com/Zack, ZACK, to claim your penny bottle now. Go to dryfarmwines.com/ZACK, dryfarmwines.com/Zack to collect your first bottle for just a penny. Hey. Okay. Let's get into the Craig versus Kyle of it all because there's a lot in there. So, from the top, make it drop. That's some wet and gushy. So, Kyle Cooke, as we know, he launched his hard teas, which are Loverboy. The hard teas then branched off into canned cocktails and spritz that they had. And so they now have them in different stores. They were primarily e-commerce. It's been on Summer House. It's the drink of the Summer House, right? Every Summer House, we just see Loverboy cans all over the place. Well, I didn't know about this beef. Well, I guess there was an announcement that Craig Conover was going to be a new, I guess, spokesperson for this other canned beverage called Spritz, and it's a wine beverage. Spritz was founded by Claudia Oshry. And Claudia is one of the co-hosts of The Toast, which was a really popular podcast called The Morning Toast. There were two of them. Claudia, whose Instagram handle she goes by Girl with No Job, that's kind of what she had a personality from. Girl with No Job develops podcast, has a job, launches a product. Girl with No Job has job and has product. Okay. Now she has lots of jobs. So she and her husband have this spritz together. Different flavors. Same thing with Loverboy. Different flavors, both canned alcoholic beverages. Okay. Craig Conover, who's good friends with Kyle Cooke, ends up investing in Spritz. And then it's this big splash announcement of him being the new investor and him kind of being a face for the brand, right? So Kyle Cooke then goes on Watch What Happens Live a couple weeks ago, and Andy Cohen asks, "What are your thoughts about Craig um, going and investing in Spritz?" And Kyle said that he was very hurt by that. He felt like it was done in a shady way. You know, Kyle had a lot to say and was coming from a very seemingly emotional place when he was talking about Craig's deal with Spritz instead of Craig doing a deal with Loverboy, right? So Kyle does his thing, says what he says, right? Then Claudia goes on Girl with No Job, goes on her job, The Toast, and talks about it on her podcast, basically saying, here's the thing. A lot of what Kyle said was not true. And Kyle dragged my husband and Kyle dragged Craig, my friend. And these are two businessmen and they made a business decision and Kyle's just salty about it. And here's the truth. She made it clear that her husband and Craig were not going to speak out about this publicly because that's not what they do, blah, 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 blah. So she's like, I'm going to speak for them on their behalf because they're businessmen and I'm not a businessman. I'm a podcaster and I like to, I'm messy. And so I was like, okay, let's go. And so she said that they were not shady. about how they went about their deal to get Craig to invest in Spritz, and that Craig was even such an upstanding citizen that Craig chose to take Kyle out to dinner and disclose that he was thinking of doing this partnership deal with Spritz. And Craig, according to Claudia, even said, but if you don't want me to invest and do this deal with Spritz, I would gladly invest and do a deal with Loverboy because you're my friend. And so she said that Craig came to Kyle, gave him a heads up about it. I believe she said it was about a month before the announcement. I believe that's what she said. And that, long story short, Craig handled it and gave Kyle a heads up, and that Kyle's lying about a lot of different things. She also said that Kyle was like a sole owner and he doesn't understand how like investors work, yada, yada, yada. Right. And she was trying to explain their business and how it's very different from the Loverboy business. So she puts that out there, people react. Kyle Cooke then goes and does another podcast, and he's done this podcast in the past. It's called the Trading Secrets Podcast, and it's actually really good. It's with this guy, Jason Tardik, and he mainly talks business, but will occasionally have different like reality stars on to talk about their business. He had Kyle on to talk about Loverboy in the past, and so he had Kyle come back on to talk about this drama. So, um, this guy, Jason, asks Kyle about it, and Kyle says that's also not true. He's like, a lot of things that Claudia said were not true. He's like, one, I'm not a sole owner of Loverboy. I do have multiple investors. He says that even Carl has equity in the company as well. He's like, anybody that's like a contractor is investing or helping to build the business, like I do offer them a piece of the business, right? And so he says that Carl is somebody that has a share of the business. I believe Craig also offered, from what I read, I believe it was in page 6, Craig also offered, or from what was being reported, to buy into Austin Kroll's beer company. And Austin Kroll declined, from what was reported, right? So Kyle says that a lot of what Claudia said was not true. And he's like, I don't know how this got lost in communication, but this is not true. He's like, Craig is my friend. Paige is my friend. You know, Paige and Amanda are friends. Like, I'm not trying to ruffle feathers, but a lot of that is not true. He's like, yes, it is true that we did sit down and have a meal together, he and I, and we talked about a lot of different things in that sit down, but it wasn't until like the final 10 minutes of us hanging out together that he then decided to share with me his plans to work with Spritz. And he said at that point, it was interesting because Schwartz, I believe, was in town and also coming to meet them. And he's like, so we weren't really able to talk about it because Schwartz was on his way. So we didn't have a whole lot of time to have a real discussion about this. He kind of sprung it on me, he says, and then Craig left that lunch early. So they never had a chance to really talk about the details. But he says that he later went to Craig and said, listen, I've been thinking about what you said about, you know, possibly investing in Spritz. And, you know, I would rather you invest in Loverboy and I would like to have you part of Loverboy. Like, if you're looking to invest in something, I would love to have it be Loverboy. He said that he made Craig an offer to buy into Loverboy. And Craig then decided, or Craig then told him, according to Kyle, Craig told him that at that point it was too late and he had already signed this deal. And he declined the offer that Loverboy made him, according to Kyle. We haven't heard Craig's side. We've only heard Craig's side via Claudia. And Claudia says, no, Kyle never offered him an opportunity to buy into Loverboy. That when Craig offered, Kyle said no, which I don't know if I believe. I don't know who I believe in this, to be honest with you. So Kyle says all of that. He says he's really just hurt. He feels like there wasn't a lot of transparency in how this deal was done, and that, you know, he just would have expected a bit of a heads up. He's like, listen, I'll let my friends do whatever they're going to do, but like, I would never not give them an opportunity to invest in a company that they would want to invest in if that's something that they wanted to do, was invest in my company. And he kind of gets into the business, which I found a lot more fascinating than the drama. If you listen to the whole episode, it's actually really good. And like I said, I was fascinated by understanding the canned cocktail world. Because as you guys know, from 2021 to the end of 2022, I ended up doing, I had my own canned wine that was, reality TV inspired. And we kept that around until the end of 2022. We ended with our holiday collection, which sold out, which was incredible. And I was so grateful for. And since then, we've been taking different meetings and trying to find a new partner to see, to bring it back. And even this morning, listening to Kyle's podcast, I was kind of like, oh, do I want to bring it back? Like, is it, now that that market has really kind of blown up, like, is it now too late to get back in the game, even though I've already been in the game? Like, it just made me think about a lot of different things. But it was fascinating that if anyone's interested in the business side of it, great. But when it comes to Kyle and Craig, I don't know who I believe. Well, it does make sense to me that if you're going to do a big deal like that and you're planning on going with another company that's not your friend's company, Kyle's story does kind of check out to me. And so I would think that Kyle might be telling the truth about like saying how Craig did mention this to me, but it was very abruptly. He kind of just sprung it on me. Um we didn't get to have a real conversation about this. And Craig can be like, well, I told him, I gave him a heads up, and so I'm kind of like, I don't know. I'm a little torn between who I want to believe, but I kind of am leaning more towards believing Kyle, because I think Kyle is somebody that just opens his mouth and says how he feels and says what he thinks and doesn't really think it through and will just kind of spill the secrets, even if it means dragging one of his friends. Whereas Craig is, I think, a little more shy to open his mouth with certain things. He's doing well with his, what do you call it? His sewing down south business and his pillows and his storefronts out in Charleston. Like, he's doing well with his business. He's making a lot of good money. He's keeping his employees, happy, which I think is great. And so the fact that he is now investing in a canned beverage, I think that that's great. Um, Danny says, Danny Gossip Gal says, I hate how fractured the whole Bravo universe is. Bravo is meant to be fun. This is not fun. Still can't wait for the next season of Summer House. Well, I mean, I don't know. This could possibly be something that gets brought up on the new season of Summer House, right? I thought Loverboy wasn't doing well. Why invest? Okay, so Kyle, thank you, Lori. Kyle does bring this up, and he says that Loverboy is actually doing fine. He's like, the thing is, what we see on the show is an edited version of what really happened. And he said, we filmed multiple scenes with me and my investors where we had in depth conversations about the numbers. And he basically said, he tried to put into context what he meant when he said that like Loverboy was possibly going under. He's like, they took 3 seconds of, a piece for a soundbite that made it sound, way worse than it actually was because it sensationalizes things and it makes the story sound more compelling. He's like, but no, Loverboy is actually doing fine. He's like, but what I meant was we're a small fish in a big pond of sharks. You have all these big companies, Mike's Hard Lemonade that now owns, I forgot which big seltzer he said that they own. But he's naming all these different canned wine beverages and seltzers and canned cocktails and all of this. And he's like, they're all owned by the big liquor giants, which is true. Like Bethany Frankel, when she sold Skinny Girl, it was bought by Beam. And she actually, I was watching one of her TikToks where she was talking about how she did that deal. I'm fascinated by this world in business. And maybe there's something that the universe is trying to tell me now that I'm getting all of this content about the liquor canned cocktail industry. Maybe it's telling me that it is time to jump back into that. And I do have an idea of what I might want to do when I bring back my wine line. But anyway, he says that it's the point that he was trying to make is that Loverboy is technically a smaller brand that doesn't have the budget that a big, Truly or White Claw company is going to have. They have unlimited resources to keep throwing money at sponsorships to make sure that their name is everywhere and so that they can make sure that they dominate the shelf space that a smaller brand like Loverboy, can struggle to get. They have more relationships, they have more money. They can, even in supermarkets, I don't think people realize that the placement in a supermarket of a product is also a paid advertisement. So when you see like certain products that are, featured in a cute little display, that's money that was spent and invested into that store so that you see that product first. Placement and shelving and all of that stuff, all very strategic in how it goes about. In bars, in restaurants and stuff, the placement of certain bottles and certain tiers and all of that, all very, you know, curated and a lot of the times paid. So he was saying that because they are a small fish in this big pond of sharks, they can very easily be taken out of the game. Like it'll be very easy for one of those other people to wipe Loverboy out completely. So they are always on the verge of going out of business. And so they always have to keep making sure they're doing things to stay relevant, to make sure the product is constantly moving off the shelves, and they have to try a lot harder. Granted, they have something like Bravo, which is a national platform, which he clarifies that Bravo doesn't actually get a cut of Loverboy. That he says that Bravo will get a cut of Kyle's portion of an acquisition. Should an acquisition happen, Bravo will get a piece of that, of only Kyle, the cut that Kyle's entitled to. And he's referred to this as the Bethany clause, which Bethany has referred to in the past, where she said that she made it clear that her business was her business and it had nothing to do with Bravo. That when they wanted a piece of her Skinny Girl business, she said absolutely not. That was the only thing she fought for in season 1 of The Real Housewives of New York. And so she was able to get away with that. And then after that, they saw how much money she made off of Skinny Girl. And now anybody that comes and shares or promotes a product on a show, Bravo can get a cut of that. Now, whatever deal they negotiate to get a cut of that is different, because I would assume that means that they get a percentage of whatever Kyle makes from Loverboy currently, but that's not the case. Kyle said that they only get the percentage should there be an acquisition with Loverboy down the line. And he says that, the reason Bravo hasn't bought into Loverboy currently, and the reason they don't want to be an owner of Loverboy now, is because there's a lot of advertisement money in alcohol brands. And one of the biggest investors in advertising on Bravo is different alcohol brands. So they want to make sure that they keep those brands happy. And he says that there are a lot of times where production will tell him not to wear Loverboy merch, or to pour the Loverboy out of the can and into a cup. That way they're not constantly promoting Loverboy all the time. But Kyle, like Bethany, is very smart that he always has boxes and boxes of the marketing. And Amanda's very smart because Amanda runs the marketing, that they know how to make sure they have attractive, sexy marketing that when you see it on camera, it's going to pop and it's going to be interesting. So they're good at that. They're smart. So yeah. Oh, not paid by anyone. Says, idea. Instead of going back to the wine business, why don't you add to your March line that sleeve that keeps the cans cold, and then you can personalize them with housewife taglines? Or what if I did both? Because I'm thinking, like, obviously there will need to be some sort of merch. I think you're referring to like the koozies. Oh, or like those aluminum ones. That would be interesting. Interesting. Good. Good idea. Food for thought. Amanda stole someone's logo, allegedly. Oh, how did Amanda steal someone's logo, allegedly? Hmm. Interesting, interesting, interesting. I didn't know about that. The Sun just reported the house situation with Tom and Ariana will take years. Oh, they did? Well, I believe last I heard about Tom and Ariana's house situation, they were going into mediation. Let's see. Let me see if I can find the article that you're referencing. Oh yeah. Oh wow. Tom Sandoval and Ariana Maddox's house drama could be dragged into 2026. Why? According to court documents obtained by Us Weekly, the Vanderpump Rules stars must settle their situation via private mediation, or they will go to trial starting in 2026. So that's contingent on them not. Um, that's contingent on them not. Um, being able to solve it in mediation. Christopher says, "Can I get a free sample of your wine to try?" Why? I don't like when people ask for freebies. I just think it's kind of tacky. um, like, just give me a freebie and then I'll decide. Well, I did give lots of opportunities to taste it when I went on tour all throughout 2022. But listen, if you guys want to support me, you can support me. If you don't want to support me, you don't have to support me. As of right now, there's no wine to sell because we're trying to redevelop and reformulate. And I think we'll completely revamp it all together. Yes, send me the info on Amanda if you can. Amanda should name her swimsuit line Lover Girl. That would be kind of cute. I like Kyle, but Craig can do what he wants with his money. No, I agree, Lori. I think Craig can definitely do what he wants, and it is business, and business is business. I think Kyle just felt like it was personal, and the way that they went about it, and the way that they weren't entirely transparent with him about it, he wanted them to be. But listen, at the end of the day, business is business, and I get that. Okay. So back to Tom and Ariana. It says back in January, Ariana filed a lawsuit against Tom in the hopes of selling their joint property. She didn't want a division in kind while Sandoval pushed to receive full ownership. The pair's shared home has become a point of contention. Yep. Ever since Rachel Leviss. Yep. Scandal. Yep. It just sucks because it's like I put so much of my life and my money into making this my dream home. Yep. We remember seeing that on the show. Sandoval says that he offered Ariana $600,000 in cash for him to keep the house based on the math. This is the buyout that is equivalent to us selling the property for $3.1 million, which is way above Zillow and Redfin value and definitely above market value. And then, this was crazy too, that with refinancing and putting that Tom said on the Secrets Revealed episode, and I saw this clip, he said that with refinancing the house and pulling her name off the loan, this goes from being a $10,000 a month payment to a $20,000 a month house payment. Not only would it be $20,000 of a house payment, but then he also had, what was it, 8,000 that they were dividing in half for the expenses in the house, like bills and gardener and pool boy and all that stuff. That was 8,000 split in half. So that would be 16,000, which means he would have to be paying like 36,000 per month just to keep that house. That's insane. 36,000 a month that he would have to pay on his own just to keep the house. Sell the fucking house, dude. Like it's not even worth it at that point. Previously Ariana defended her decision to remain in the home. Let's see. While the legal situation is still ongoing, Ariana purchased a $1.6 million house in Los Angeles. Yep. It's 6.6 miles away from her current residence with Tom Sandoval. So this really says a whole lot of nothing. It just says, according to court documents, that they must settle their situation in a private mediation. So that's 2 years, February 2026. That sounds really far away, but that's less than 2 years from now. And that's contingent on them not selling or not reaching a mediation. At this point, it's been 1 year. That I wouldn't be surprised if 2 more years. But I feel like if she's already itemized everything in the house, all the furniture and whatnot, she knows what she wants. He probably doesn't want to keep most of the furniture. And I get her point. Like, to Ariana's point, I do understand where she's kind of like, listen, the fact that he wants to buy the house is great, but he doesn't get to keep all the furniture in the house as well. Like, I want the furniture that's mine. And they went and itemized everything and, put prices on everything. And so, but I'm curious if she wants to keep that furniture or she just wants him to pay her for that furniture. So you pay her for the house and then the furniture. But even then, like, that's a lot of money to pay her 600 grand for the house itself and then to either have to buy new furniture or pay her for that furniture. That's additional money on top of a $36,000 bill per month. That's crazy. I wonder how much he makes on Vanderpump per episode. I don't know. That's crazy though. Do we think he makes at least 100 grand on Vanderpump? I mean, it's possible that he can afford that, but my God, that is just like bleeding so much money. If they sell, is it at a loss? Does anyone know? We don't know how much. Well, I guess he says that the house is worth 3.1 million if they sell it, but then there's also the loan that was taken out. I mean, he's probably going to end up losing on something. He's not going to, but I think he just wants to prevent himself from having to move back into like an apartment. And that's why he wants to invest in a property with Schwartz. But ooh, 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 ooh. Ariana said that she wants to donate the furniture. Oh, interesting. Interesting, Lauren. Well, that would be nice of her to donate all this expensive luxury furniture to Goodwill. That's nice of her. I'm sure people would appreciate it at the Goodwill. Just sell the house. Yeah, at this point, just sell the house, cut your losses, take whatever you can get at this point. I mean, it's hard because they do have the loan against the house and the investment that he made in Schwartz and Sandy's, and with Vanderpump being put on pause, I would just imagine things are gonna be a bit challenging. But like now he's doing his tour for the band, and obviously I believe he's filming the Traders right now. So we'll see. His savings isn't gonna last forever. No shit. No shit. This is going to be as long as Bethany's divorce. I don't think so. Bethany's divorce was like nearly a decade long, and it was so long because it was not just dividing assets in the divorce and alimony, but it was also custody of their child. Whereas Ariana and Tom don't have a child to dispute custody. There is no alimony or they can't get any alimony or spousal support because they were never married. So it's really just the division of the assets, and the only asset they collectively have is the house. So that's the only thing that they would be dividing. So it wouldn't take as long as Bethany's divorce. At some point, that house will be 5 million because they're pouring money into the area. If they could hold off, they could both come out ahead. That's true, but it also is a lot to upkeep that house. I mean, listen, that's not a bad way to look at it, though, if you think about it. But then what? Tom Sandoval just gets to live there for now. Tom Sandoval will get voted off the Traders super early just out of revenge for Ariana. Who? No. These other reality stars are not like losers like the fans are. The fans would just vote him off because they hate him. But like the whole point of the game is to try and spot the traitors. People won't just vote him out just because they don't think he's a good guy. When he was on Special Forces, like all of them who got to hang out with him and get to know him ended up being friends with him. Nick Vial, Jojo Siwa, like they all ended up becoming close to Sandoval afterwards. He's the only reason I would watch. I mean, it would be entertaining, and I think people know. Listen, and I think the smart reality stars know that keeping Tom Sandoval in the game longer will keep people watching because they'll want to see, is he a traitor? Is he going to get voted up? Like, for hate it or not, people love to hate to watch. Like, that's why they have these reality villains that they love to like salivate at. So people are going to continue watching the traitors if he is on, and they're going to watch to see, when is he going to get voted up? Who's going to be mean to him? How is he going to play his game? Is he going to fumble the ball? Is he going to give me a reason to get mad at him on Twitter again? Like they actually do a lot more. I'm actually totally watching because of him. Yeah, Laura, I agree. He would definitely make me want to watch him. Dorinda is also in it. Dorinda and Tom Sandoval together on the Traders. Whew, that would be wild. Are they going to let normal people on the Traders again? I don't think so. I don't think that um yeah, I don't think they're gonna let, not like before when they had like half average, half normies and half, reality stars. Love Dorinda Messy Queen. Yeah, they better just have lots of liquor on hand and just let her slur her way through the traders. Could you imagine if Dorinda's a traitor? Season 1 of The Traitor had normal people, like average Joe people, as half of the cast. And then for season 2, they brought in all reality stars. Or all, celebs, I guess, or I don't know how you would, because like, there's, like, a politician on there, and athletes on there, so I don't know. I don't see that show lasting if it stays on Bravo Labs only. Look at Big Brother, they switched up often. It's not Bravo Labs only. Christopher, where you been, bro? Um, it's not Bravo Labs only. They have, like, 4 or 5 Bravo Labs that are on it, but there's, like, a cast of what, like, 15, 20 people? Um They have Big Brother people on, they have Survivor people on, they have all sorts of different types of people on. I want Tom to be a traitor so that he can have a full meltdown over it. Could you imagine? I mean, listen, he's good at lying. He's good at deception, but would he be good at playing the game of traitors? I would love to fucking be on traitors. I just know I probably wouldn't make it to the end. I probably would not make it to the end. I have 2 listen, my mouth, I would be like, "You're a traitor," and I would be total Brandy Glanville and end up getting kicked out because people be like, "Thou doth protest too much." Spencer Pratt for the Traitors. Spencer Pratt would be great on the Traitors. I would love Spencer and Heidi on the Traitors. Dorinda and Sandoval, the last two traitors standing, then Dorinda goes for the kill. Dorinda, listen, homegirl always goes for the kill. She is wild, that one. He'll have an existential crisis. Yeah. He'll be worried about his image. Yeah. Well, I think at this point, he's probably not as worried about his image anymore because he's already been like one of the most hated reality stars of last year that he's like, you know what? Fuck it. I want Dolores to be innocent. Oh, to be a faithful. Well, we don't know if Dolores is actually going to be on the show. I know she's rumored to be on. But like Sheena was rumored to be on last season of The Traitors. Isn't Mary Cosby? We don't know. The cast that is leaked has not been confirmed. Before that cast leak, though, I did hear about Dorinda. Tom Sandoval, I kind of put my own speculation together to figure that one out. I heard Monique Samuels, who was not part of that leaked list. I heard Lindsay Hubbard, who was not part of that leaked list. So uncertain of who it would be. I doubt they would make Sandoval a traitor. It's too obvious. Zach, I'd die to see you on that show. I would die to be on that show. That would be great. I would love to be. Listen, the producers of The Traitors, please consider adding me. I would I would probably listen. I would know how to spot the traitors. I want a YouTubers on The Traitors like Zach, Trisha Paytas, Tana Mojo. Wow, the fact that you even put me in the same category as Trisha and Tanya and Tana Mojo, Tana. Do you like when stuff leaks or do you think it's better when we don't know? I think it's better when we don't know. I like being I think that's what made Salt Lake City such a great season this past year is because we didn't know. Content creators that would be amazing. Kempire, Kiki Monique. Yeah, I love Kempire. I like Kiki Monique. I don't think she likes me. I've heard she is not a fan. Which is fine. Listen, I have nothing against her. I follow her on Instagram. I share her content all the time. I literally have nothing against her, but I don't think she likes me. I've tried to be so nice to her, but I don't know. I know she's like friends with Up and Adam, so I don't know. Zach would be voted off. He's too smart. I wouldn't be voted off because I'm too smart. I would be voted off because my mouth is too damn big and gets me into trouble all the time. Who do you think the actual traitors will be? Well, we don't know who the actual cast is. Zach, you could host that show or any show like Watch What Happens Live. I would love to host any show. Listen, if you guys caught my live with Femme Tarot, I was on her channel. We were talking about Summer House and Vanderpump and all of that stuff. And she did tell me that she sees this being my year of transition from podcast to TV. So who knows? Traitors season 4, I'm ready. Zach would die to be on that show, and Zach would be murdered or banished during the first episode. Zach would definitely be great TV in that episode. Listen, when Brandy Glanville did it, the distinguished guest Zach with Up and Up. Could you imagine if they put the two of us on the Traitors together? I would fucking die. That would be like, I love some good beef for breakfast. I would like to see Zach on like a Talk or The View. I would be great at The View. I would be like, Barbara, Whoopi. Zach and Donna would be a great combo with their mouths. Tell me about it. Tom will say, what? Tom will say, oh, stuff that'll really get him canceled. Probably. The content creators I watch are all physically fit the challenges and would have to be a better mix with more mind games. I got a sharp mind, N-Dub. All that bleach didn't kill all of my brain cells. I would also like to see you hosting a dating show. It's so funny you say that because I was just thinking about that. I was going to text my manager yesterday and be like, I want to host a dating show. That would be kind of fun. I mean, I have disaster daters, but I would love to host like not a well, maybe like a Love Island. I don't know. I just think that would be fun. What did Kat ask? Oh, Yeah, Cat's shady. Zach, would you ever go on Zeus TV? I hear they pay good. I mean, if there was an opportunity for me to go on Zeus TV, why not? My friend Jacques keeps telling me that I should try to do a show with OnlyFans TV. I'm like, I'm not going to do an OnlyFans TV show. He's like, it's not all porn anymore. They're trying to brand themselves something different. And I'm just like, no, I don't want to go on OnlyFans TV. Could you imagine? And be like, hey guys, watch my reality show on OnlyFans TV. Just don't give Zach gummies during the Traders filming unless we really want some unhinged TV moments. Whew. Love Connection. Ooh, I would love to host Love Connection. Zach, could you survive the bug house? Oh, that would be a tough one. I don't know. And I don't. The bug house is a lot, and I don't know if I can handle that. I would be very like, whew. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Thank you guys for listening to No Filter with Zack Peter. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Catch new episodes of No Filter with Zack Peter Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday morning, streaming live first thing in the morning on YouTube and available on all podcast platforms. You can also catch my new show, The Pop Report. We have new episodes that drop every Wednesday and Friday, covering everything beyond reality. All the latest pop culture celebrity news, from the Royals to J-Lo and Ben to JoJo Siwa. It's a good time. It's always a lot of fun. I host it with my friend Andy Lawani. And yeah, it's a good time. It's available on all podcast platforms. The link is in the description below, so you can check out the Pop Report. New episodes drop Wednesdays and Fridays. Go listen, subscribe, leave a nice review, and get ready for more. We tape Disaster Daters. We begin taping the new season this month, guys, and it's going to be a good one. So get ready. Let's get it. All right. Have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Today's Tuesday, right? Yep, today's Tuesday. Oh, by the way, I killed it at my 500-meter row benchmark at Orange Theory today. Let's get it, baby. What would I think I rode 500 meters in 1 minute and 25 seconds. Mm, mm, mm. All right, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow morning. Ciao for now. Enjoy the rest of your day. See you later, skater. Holla. Okay, bye.